Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my job shop. Welcome to my channel. My name's Keith. I'm your host. And Happy New Year. First video of the year, of course. Yesterday was some good news. I actually got in touch, or retouched bases this year with Mechanics Machine Works, company here in New England, that they're going to be pricing out grinding the beds and adding material to the bottom of the carriage, scraping that in, scraping this in, you know, plus, headstock, tailstock alignment, and all of that kind of stuff. And then I'm going to decide how much I want them to do and how much I want to take on myself. Also, with just a quick word from them, they have it open for me to be able to go up and do some videoing of the operation going on as well. So that's kind of cool to have a road trip capabilities to follow up on Pearl's project, you know, for whatever I'm having it done. If I'm not doing it here in the shop, at least we get to see what's being done by professionals in another company. All right, before we get going on with our video, this is cleaned up and ready to just load on the truck. And I've got 3 things that were sent in to me, and I kind of want to share these because they all kind of coincide what's been heading on in this project here. First box I have here is actually from Mr. Crispin Enterprises. Remember back when I had the What's in Your Box toolbox giveaway? Well, Mr. Crispin was one of the recipients of one of the toolboxes that I gave away. And he's progressed in his career and in shop and the direction he's going. And I think it was somewhere around the beginning of December there. He asked me, maybe it was in November, he asked me who was doing my artwork and the artwork of a lot of other members in the YouTube shop community. So I gave him Quinn's information, and he contacted Quinn, and Quinn worked with him and helped him design all of his artwork for his channel and his business as well. And anyway, he finally got his merchandise all set up on the channel, which I'm going to put a link in my description for you. So I went on his site, and I loved his artwork, by the way. Quinn did a really nice job. And of course, you see me, I'm always wearing my own brand and my hat and everything else. But one thing that I really kind of wanted and it fancied me was one of his little enamel mugs here with Mr. Crispin on it and his artwork there that Quinn showed. It actually is pretty unique. I'm going to give you a close-up on this here just because I can. See if I can get the glare off of it. There you go. All right. Nice mug. And I actually chose this because I don't have any glasses in my apartment for milk in the morning. Because this isn't really my coffee size here. This is my coffee size here. All right. But this is close to my milk size. And I can sport this mug up on my shelf in my kitchen in my apartment there. So I want to thank you very much, Mr. Crispin. One, for participating in What's in Your Box Toolbox giveaway, and also taking it to where you're at now. I'm proud of you. All right. Along the same lines of thinking on the What's in Your Box Toolbox giveaway, this actually was sent 10/8/22. All right. Sometimes when you send things in here, they don't always come up, and some things don't enter my videos. Some things take a long time. It's kind of like a thought. Sometimes you need to sit on it a little bit. But I opened up the box, and I really had no idea what was in here at the beginning. And it says, "Ahoy, Keith. Please accept this donation of handy little things. You mentioned possible future mechanics toolbox giveaway in a video, and so maybe some of this would be part of it. Your video printing and seals to replace the stringy packing was enlightening." Thank you. I'm still working on that, and we're going to be working on some more fluids and things like that to put the materials in and get it done. I never saw use of 3D printing beyond plastic dollar store trinkets and Christmas ornaments. Printing gaskets and seals is something I've never considered. Thanks for all the fun videos. I especially enjoy the Because I Can video with the engine block. And that, out of all my videos that I've done in here, I was driven to do that video, but I have to say that as far as internally, myself and attempting things, that was probably the ballsiest video that I have put out. I have some other really nice videos and things, but I'd have to say that one there took the biggest balls to do, and I was glad about the outcome. All right. Sincerely, Paul Headley. And he has put together radius gauges, all Starrett brand, drill and wire gauge, a pocket scale, hermaphrodites, speed indicator, Starrett, parallel set of 4, some fillet gauges, got some fishtails in here, and he's got an Enco 4-piece pin vise set and some telescoping gauges and a few other things in here. All right, I'm not going to go in and I'm not going to show all of that. But what I want to say is, yes, I want to do another What's in Your Box Toolbox giveaway. I'm thinking of a different way to go about it. Instead of nominating yourself and tell me why, I think I want to have nominations by other people for people, but I still want a video. I think I still want a video by the person doing the nomination of the person they're nominating. I think that would be a unique twist. Maybe I'm off base. I would love to hear your ideas. Okay. Now, the other thing that I want to go ahead and put into there is I don't necessarily need tools sent in for the toolbox giveaway. Maybe I don't have every single tool. Maybe I'll put out something that I might be missing. But what ends up happening is more tools are sent in than I can possibly give out. And I have, not because of the past What's in Your Box Toolbox giveaways, because before that all started because I felt I had too many tools anyway, and I wanted to put together a box and give it away. And then, you know, what the last year I did, I think I gave away 7 boxes. But I've settled into this new shop, and I had 3 pedestals that were in between the machines that you see in my videos now, and the real estate you have to work in around your machines and stuff is very important to, one, keep your area clear and clean and So I actually took those boxes out of here about almost a year ago so I could gain more. And I put them in one of my land sea containers, a 40-footer out there. And every once in a while I have to walk out there and get something out of those toolboxes. It kind of lets me know that I have approximately 4 toolboxes that I don't really use. And I have a couple that I actually want the box brought in here and then take one of the boxes I have that I'm using that I always used and it's part of my rollaway. I want to take that off of there and I want to create a new layout for my rollaway toolbox scenario here in the shop. That means I'm going to be shuffling some things around, and that means that I could put together another toolbox to give away. Minimum, maybe 2. And another package that I received, and this is from my good friend Stan Zinkowski at Bar Z Industrial. And he's got great ovens, and I've picked up a couple of his ovens here. And the direction that I'm going to be going in, and we're going to get into, I promise you, we're going to be getting into where this video is actually going. But I'm going to be printing powdered metals and then centering those items and then installing them onto pearl, new handles and things like that. But Stan has come up with ceramic tubes that can allow you to put or fill your ovens with inert gases, shielding gases. And so he has sent me regulator and ceramic insert kits for my ovens. And the reason why I'm kind of tying this all in, one, to thank Stan very much for getting these to me and giving me the opportunity to experiment with my ovens and my metal printing and possibly being able to do some kind of centering in oven control. It's all a learning experience, and whether it can be done or not, you don't know until you actually put it together. I have companies that will center the products that I'm going to make for the lathe, but I also want to know if I can do some things myself, even if they're not up to specs of the high-tech centering companies. But if they are up to my own specs of acceptance here, who knows where that will go. So anyway, we're reaching out and we're thanking Stan. But the other thing that bringing up into the whole loop of everything here is the Bar Z Summer Bash comes up in June. And I'm thinking about being able to do this toolbox giveaway and have the announcement on the Bar Z Summer Bash of 2023. Food for thought? All right, let's put this away and let's get going on our video for today. All right, we've got all of our parts for our handles for engage and brake control on pearl. This is the one that's up by the headstock that had the fork here and had the 2 holes in here, and it was broke. It actually, okay, you can see the porosity throughout the wall. This was stick welded, probably with some nylon. And this was milled smooth here so that they could get a bolting surface on it and those 2 holes were drilled in so the bolts could go through it. Now, this is the square drive that inserts all the square features of both handles. This one has 1 because the taper pin that goes through this opening here goes through the square drive as well. And this square drive is still perfectly square. So there's really nothing wrong with the squareness of this part. And this here, it is holding, but even they were a little unsure of their own workmanship, so they added on some more crap. This side here actually has a pretty good bead, but it's on top. It's on top. I don't know how much weld prep they have on here. What I'm going to do, because I want to remake both handles, but I'm also going to go ahead and do the proper braze repair on these 2 handles so that I have 2 backup handles no matter what. So I want to take this weld down. I want to fill these holes in here. I want to V this out 100% so that I can put in a good braze here, fill the holes from this side here, layer this off, and shape this all in. 1, it'll be a repaired handle. 2, it will allow me to set this up and 3D scan this part and be able to print it in a powdered metal. Okay, that's the handle up towards the headstock there. Let's wait for the air compressor to stop. This is actually, this goes in here. Let's see, that there's a set screw right there. Okay, this is the pivot that mounts to the bottom of the apron. And then this is the handle that broke off, and this part here was laying in the pan. Now, you can see the wear. I'm holding it, it is almost straight in line. You can see that those squares, get that in there. It's hard looking in the mirror and doing that. Okay, slight bit of rotation difference, only because this isn't locked in. But you can see the wear on the corners and how it was rocking in there. And this is the other end. Same thing. Rounded corners. So it was rocking on that square. After investigating and blasting this handle up, all right, you can look at that and you can see that this handle was actually physically cut off. You can see the saw cut, both of those surfaces. Why did they cut the handle off? Well, let me come back here a little bit here so I can. Okay, I'm going to line up. Let's line up the weld. Okay. That's how they welded that. Okay. Besides it being a hunk of junk weld, and by the looks of the rest of it, they never prepped it to weld it. But the reason why they, I'm coming back here, the reason why they did that is, see how the handle shifts to the upper position there? Is because this was coming down and hitting the pan. Because the slop in the squares. There's 2 square inserts right here. Okay, you make these brand new, you put them back in, and you set screw them in the right position, and I'll be damned, you got your handle in the right position and it works perfectly fine. But no, it makes more sense to cut the handle off and re-weld it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean off all that weld there, and then I'm going to put the handle back in line like it's supposed to be, fully prep that, and then we're going to braze repair this handle. We're going to smooth that out, and then we're going to have our second handle that we'll be able to set up and 3D scan and print this in a powdered metal. All right, we've got our two handles set up here on the jig table. I completely prepped this 100%, and I have a piece of angle underneath here, and then I've taken a straight edge here and on this side here, so I have exactly where I want that to go. And we're going to start off here and braze on this side here. We left a weld on this side here because we didn't want to actually lose this handle's position. We were happy with where it is. And the crack actually shows, all because I V'd this all the way down, about equal to halfway here. It might be a little proud, and we're going to really preheat this one quite a bit before I actually start brazing. But I'm going to braze this in and then puddle braze up over these holes and everything else. Leave this clamped in, let it cool down in here, and then flip this over, V the other side, and then braze it. Kind of the plan on the two handles. But right now they're both set up, and I can go ahead and go from one, then go to the next one. Everybody asks me every time I braze, general purpose brazing rod. This is actually 532, something like that, maybe. This is number 2 flux. Happens to be made by Borax, and it's white. There are some others that I've used in the past, and they're gray color. But as long as you're using number 2. Number 2 is high heat. High heat is the rod or the flux you want for the rod on cast iron or ductile iron materials. Find a good pair of gloves here. We'll go ahead and go for this one here first. That oil and shit's burning out of the cracks there. You see that? Just lightly starting to glow red right now. We want to make sure that hub is really good and hot. thing you got to do is you got to tin it or flux it. Get that flux to go all over that. Easier to just switch hands, I guess. Okay, we're gonna go on to the next one. I put more on here. It's better to be looking at it than looking for it when it comes time to grind that down and sand that down. Okay, we're going to cool those down and flip them over. We'll work on the other side. All right, there's what the far one looks like. And there's the one that's a little closer. All right, we flipped both of these over, supported them under the balls again. We V'd this out with a hand grinder all the way down to where we saw just a solid line there. And also here again, that depth appears to be pretty close to halfway. We're seeing brass or braze at both ends real close. This is just left the same way it was. It flipped over fine, a little spacer, and we can support the ball over here as well. It didn't cool all the way down. They cooled down enough to where I could flip them over with the gloves real quick. And of course I had to find spacers and all kinds of things. So it's only been about 15 minutes at the max. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna unbolt them and lay them on their sides so that I can just make sure I got enough on the edges to finish those off nice and clean. All right, I think we got enough material on there. We're gonna let them cool down. We're gonna sand those to shape, sandblast them so that they're prepped and ready to set up on our 3D scanner. We're gonna take our weld positioner, we're gonna put it in there. We have a black bottom we're gonna set there. We're gonna create a pedestal which will hold each of these handles in an upright position, and we're gonna break out our 3D scanner and we're gonna create a scan for these two handles. Until then, get her done.